Good morning, viewers, and it's a pleasure to introduce another episode of Universal Energies. My guest today is Leon Zonamari, who, as you may know, I have interviewed about a year ago. So welcome, Leon.
Almost exactly a year
Almost
ago.
exactly, yes.
Yes, it was.
It makes you sound a bit as though you're an old friend, and you are an old friend.
Thank you. I believe I was episode number 8.
Yeah, well, you have a good memory, my memory, Leon. But no doubt that the listeners and the viewers will know, because they will track the number 8 interview. Now you've just said. Your interview last time, of course, was on your book that you just got out, Name Analysis.
Name Reality, which of course is about name analysis. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Your next, the talk today is not on that, and we'll get to you in a minute. And later on, viewers, Leon will be telling you where he is, what he's doing, while he's over in the UK, which is a short period in June. You'll have everything on credits at the end anyway. So before we start, let me say to you that the talk today, that Leon is going to talk about, is in 3 steps that he'll explain about later on. But it's for healing, happiness, and the abundance, which is all to do with energies. And Leon's going to talk about that now. So let me just throw it over to you, Leon, and ask you just to give us an intro on what the talk is about.
I'll just give you a brief intro so
that's fine.
Everyone knows why I'm here.
That's fine, yeah.
3 steps to healing, happiness and abundance. This is a 3-step program that you can use on yourself, you can use on another person, you can use it on an animal, you can even use it on a place. And it's really quite simple. You just follow the step-by-step instructions. You don't actually need any previous experience in healing. However, if you are a practicing healer, maybe doing Reiki or Theta healing, you'll actually find this system wonderful, because you can incorporate any 1 or 2 or even 3 of these steps into your existing healing programs. The great thing about this program is that you can use it for just simple ailments. If you have a lot of stress and worry and you need to clear that negative energy out and pep yourself up, you can use this. If you have life-threatening ailments, if you go to my website, you'll see there's reviews from some of my clients, and you can heal some pretty miraculous stuff. I've had people with tumors, I've had people with cancers, I've had people with herniated discs, all sorts of problems. You can pretty much fix anything using this system. You can also use it to enhance the laws of attraction. A lot of people have tried the laws of attraction and they've not had the results they were always looking for. You can use this system again to bring out the best in the laws of attraction. And you can also use this system to purify your drinking water, the air that you breathe, and the food that you eat. It will also take care of electromagnetic frequencies, which are a big problem now with cell phones, Wi-Fi, the internet and so forth. You can also remove negative energy that's already in your body from chemtrails and from HAARP, the weather altering systems that the government, well, especially in the United States, have implicated. You can remove all this and you can bring in happiness and abundance. The 3 basic steps are clearing, repairing and balancing, and we achieve this with documentation, activation and confirmation. That's a brief little intro.
So I can hear the viewers saying at the moment, if it is so good, why have we not heard about it before?
Well, because I've just put it all together. Let me give you a little bit of a background here. Before I got into the name system, which was several years ago, actually about 20 years ago, I was into healing. I'm very fortunate. I've had 3 wonderful spiritual mentors, all at Oracle level. The first one I met, not by chance of course, because everything happens for a reason. I was very much into discovering my past. I believed that reincarnation was for real, and I'd read a lot of books on the subject, and I thought, I've got to find out. And eventually I found this woman, and she used a process developed by a guy called Ken Page called multidimensional heart and soul cellular healing, which does actually take you back. It also can remove some of your past life negative karma, and you get to see what you've done in previous lives. And it was an incredible system. However, at the same time, she opened my third eye. And then on a subsequent visit, she then activated dormant DNA strands. And I took off like a rocket. I was just flying, absolutely flying. And very soon after that, it became a bit of a party trick, a party joke. Oh, if someone's got a headache, just go over there to Leon. He'll just touch your head for just 15, 20 seconds, and he'll suck that headache right out of your head and just throw it away. And so I found that I did have the ability to actually move energy. So then I spent at least a year with this first mentor, literally almost every day. And she taught me everything that she knew. She was a wonderful healer. Then about a year later, I came back to England, because at the time I was living in the USA. I came back to England and I met with a lady called Diane Bright down in Bournemouth. Sadly, she passed away just over a year ago, and that is why I'm now bringing this all together, because she's actually been channeling, sending me messages saying, hey, you really need to get this information out. This is very, very powerful. I met with Diane many, many years ago, and she took me again to other levels that I didn't even believe were possible. And she was a wonderful, incredible healer. She saved a lot of people from some horrible, slow, painful deaths. And also, once again, just pepping people up when they're just, all the negative emotions come in and they get stressed. And of course, stress is one of the major killers these days. It's terrible, terrible. Anyhow, Diane Bright, she was my second mentor, and she took me to even higher levels again. And then my third mentor was actually a homeopathic intuitive doctor on the little island in the Caribbean where I now live. I met him about 5 years ago, and he just basically was the icing on the cake. He just filled in some of the gaps, questions that I'd had. And of course, because I lost my second mentor, Diane, I wasn't able to directly just pick up the telephone and have a conversation with her. And my first mentor, unfortunately, she's dropped out completely now. She's getting older in age, and she's decided to just back away from her spiritual work. So meeting this doctor was incredible. And of course, homeopathic medicine is now becoming more and more accepted.
Oh yes, definitely.
Because it relates to emotions and stress. So that's where it basically started from. Each of my mentors had something to actually teach me, something to give me. What I've got here, it's not like they or I or anybody has invented something new. We haven't invented the wheel. We've just taken 3 wheels and we've put them together and we've made a tricycle. And the tricycle goes smooth as can be. It's a wonderful tool. So I've just basically, much the same as with my name system, I took all the basic nuts and bolts and just took it a notch up to the next level. That's what I've done with this healing program.
Oh, well.
So now you know.
I do know, and so do the listeners know, and the viewers will understand because they'll see the videos. I mention the listeners as well because it'll go out on audio anyway.
Of course.
And so those who don't have the benefit of seeing the video will get it through audio.
Yeah.
You've mentioned of how you got into it, so let's have some understanding of the 3 steps.
3 steps, okay. The first step is clearing. When somebody has an ailment, not always, but very often, there can be some negative energy which is actually in the physical body that's causing the problem that they have. Obviously this doesn't apply to just general little stuff like a little bit of stress or a little bit of worry or minor stuff. But for the more serious, deep stuff, very often there is some negative energy that is actually attached to you. This can very often be past life karma as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, I do understand that, yeah.
And in fact, with one of my clients who wrote me a very nice review, which you'll find on my website with other reviews, we actually went back to his previous life where he actually broke his neck, and it actually ultimately ended in his death. And in this life, he had a collapsed disc in his neck. So by actually discovering that and being able to clear out the negative karma, this then cleared the pathway, so we could then do the second step, clearing, getting all things internally fixed by calling in angels. It's just wonderful. It pulls out that negative junk. Very often you can have a wonderful healing process and it works and the person's feeling great and wonderful, but unfortunately sometimes if you've got that negative energy that's still lurking there, the problem comes back again. So this actual part of it it literally pulls out any negative junk. What we do, I'll just put a little diagram here. We use what is called an octahedron. An octahedron is a square-based pyramid on top of a square-based pyramid. And an octahedron is a very powerful symbol. Symbols are also related to my other work and this work as well. Symbols people overlook. They do send out a vibration. And the actual octahedron is a wonderful vessel. We actually call in angels to build the octahedron for us, where the healing is taking place. And we then pull out, with the help of angels again, we pull out negative energy from the person, or from the place, or the animal, or even doing it on yourself. And we place it in the octahedron. And then we call in archangels and ascended masters to actually cleanse the energy before we send it back to the universe. It's very important that it's cleansed before it's sent back. For example, if I pull somebody's headache out and I then just shake it out, it's gone from me, but it's buzzing around somewhere and someone else might get a headache in that same room. This process with the octahedron, it cleanses the energy and we send it back to the universe, back to our creator with love, and we send it back to the place where it came from, or the creator will actually make a new safe place for it to go to. So because we entice it out with love and compassion, it's quite happy to leave that physical place, that physical body, come into the octahedron and then be cleansed and sent back to the universe. It's very, very powerful.
It sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking at this moment is there are going to be people who view the video who have not the slightest idea of where we talk about energies and we talk about symbols, and I talk about symbols and signs and things of what we are talking about.
Well, the great thing with this system, like I said, everything is documented. It's a very comprehensive package that actually gives you an introduction, a very lengthy introduction. There's articles there. For example, Eckhart Tolle has just recently produced another book, and that's all talking about emotions and how emotions affect your life. Lots of articles, lots of information, lots of personal recommendations from myself as well, even about health and nutrition and stuff, which is very, very important these days. It's very much overlooked. I thought that I was eating healthy several years ago. I thought I was really eating healthy until I met a nutritionist friend that I hadn't seen for years, and she introduced me to a book by Patrick Holford. It's a very well-known book. It's 500 pages, The Optimum Nutrition Bible. And I read that 500-page book, and wow, I realized how I was not eating healthy at all. So that changed the way that I actually looked at food. So the introduction gives you lots of background. And then the actual 3-step healing program itself, it's literally step by step. Everything is there, printed out for you. And you basically have to just recite everything. Obviously modify the system to put in your name, who you are, what your problems are. But just use the 3-step program. It's all documented. The whole healing program, if you use all 3 steps, will take you the best part of an hour. But it works like a rocket. I mean, it's just incredible. When you combine these 3 together, they just gel and they work extremely well.
The talk of the moment for anybody is healthy living, healthy eating,
Yes.
healthy mind, body and spirit.
Yeah.
So this all falls into that category. So we've had the first step. Would you like to continue on then?
I just like to say one more thing about the
Oh, right. Okay.
octahedron. The octahedron here that we mentioned just a few minutes ago. The octahedron, it is a very powerful symbol. It represents the element air, and it also represents the central and governing. For anyone that's into any healing, they will know that the air element, it feeds and supplies all the other elements and chakras throughout the body. And it's also the place where we actually go for love and compassion and healing, because the air, central and governing, is linked directly to the heart chakra. So that just also explains why this octahedron is so powerful. So, but yes, step two. Step two, that is where we call in a lot of angels. I'm just going to refer to the page in my book, and I'm actually going to read it to you, or part of it. I'll read off some of the angels that we actually call in. For example, it starts off, I will now work on the damage creating problems for the person's name with my surgical third eye. I call for assistance with this healing. I call upon my spirit guide, other guides that you want to call in. I call upon the spirit guides of the person that you're working on. And I call in the angels who walk in our Creator's clear light. We also call in the dolphins and the whales to bring their positive energy, and they spin nets, which relieves an awful lot of stress around people. And then we call in a whole list of angels. I'll call upon Ani, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Zadkiel, Damara, Jesus, Mother Mary, Saint John of God, Saint Therese, to guide me and operate this healing. I then call upon Krishna and Sulis to bless the healing. I call upon Archangel Michael to clear her chakras. I call upon Raphael, Devi to detoxify the body. I call upon Apollo, Una and Serapis Bey to give physical fitness and strength, Buddha to clear the way for balance, and the list goes on. There's quite a few angels that we call in. And the reason why the angels come, this is one of the key factors. See, this whole process, it's a 3-step process. And the 3 steps, apart from what we're doing here, it's also documentation, activation, and confirmation. You document everything, including the date, time, and place you're going to do the healing. When you document something, this might surprise some people, when you document something, it refers to the old expression, carved in stone. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the Akashic Records. Mm-hmm. For people who've not heard of the Akashic Records, it's a place back home where there are documented records of everything that's taken place on planet Earth. It has what's happened in the past, it has what's happening now, and it also has, let me say, projections for the future. I say projections because what a lot of people don't realize, even though everything has already happened and we're just living out our destiny, we all have choice. We make decisions every minute of every day almost, and just a little change in a decision can alter your path slightly. So the Akashic Records for the future, they're there, but they're like in gel form. They haven't been set in concrete yet. They're still flexible. So when you actually document something and you put the date, time and place that the healing is going to actually carry on, believe it or not, people working on the other side, angels, archangels, ascended masters, spirit guides, spiritual surgeons, they actually go to the Akashic Records and they use it like their timetable. And you'll perhaps have Archangel Raphael will drop by the Akashic Records. Oh, hey guys, we've got another healing going on tomorrow. So hey, you, make sure you get down there tomorrow. And they'll go, oh, okay. We've already carved it in stone that we are going to do this healing session. And then when you start it, you just have to call them in, and believe me, they come. It is incredible. If you have any intuitive ability, and this of course has happened frequently with me with other people that I've worked with, they can literally feel the vibration, the energy that comes into the room for the healing to take place. So you document what you want to do, what you want to achieve with this healing. If it's not a serious ailment, you can use this second step for the laws of attraction. You just have to list down realistic goals. I mean, don't tell me you want to win the lottery, but put down realistic goals. And within the second part, whether you're working on cancer, tumours, serious physical problems, or you just want to bring in abundance, that's when you use the second step, and the angels are there, and they are the ones who actually carry out the work. You just give them the directions, and they carry it out. That's the second step.
That's good. That's what we're all about. We're giving people tools, if you like,
Exactly.
to sort out.
Exactly. Yes.
There are going to be viewers that are quite baffled by a situation that is not within their logic, not within their rational scope of practicability, and when you say set out in stone, then they're fact, and they want things to happen. When you put it on paper, it's like a question. You ask a question and you get an answer, and it's practical. They can see it in front of their eyes. And there's going to be a lot of viewers that say, well, at this moment, do you have to be intuitive? Do you have to have any belief at all in it? Do you have to understand where the practitioner's coming from?
First step is documentation. We document everything. The second step is activation, because when you go through this healing program, you actually read out all this information. By reading it, you activate it. You don't have to be intuitive, but you do have to believe, because the third step is the power of intention. When you say these words, you have to mean it. You have to truly believe, hey, this is powerful stuff. This is going to work for me. Let me give you a perfect example. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Dr. Masaru Emoto. He actually passed away a couple of years ago. He's very well known for doing experiments with water. He would actually take 2 glass jars with rice and water, and he would place one on a piece of paper, a card that would say love, and the second one he would place on a card that says hate. He would then talk to these containers, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, but he would actually mean it. And then he would go to the second one and say, oh, I hate you, you're disgusting, I don't want you in my life. And he could actually flash freeze these samples and measure them under a microscope and see the differences in the actual molecular structure of the water. A similar test is just leaving them there for a period of weeks, but every day going back and just talking to them, either with love or with hate. And you will find that after a couple of weeks, the love jar with rice and water, or you can use half an apple, put half an apple inside the jar, the love one will still look relatively fresh, vibrant and happy. The one with hate starts to decay very, very rapidly. Now, people try to debunk Dr. Masaru Emoto. Some of them succeeded. Why? Because they didn't say it with the power of intention. They said, oh, let's see if we can debunk this guy. So, let's get some glass jars here. This is so funny, this weird experiment that he does. Okay, oh, I love you, I love you. Oh, I hate you, I hate you. No power of intention at all. They did the documentation. They only half-heartedly did the activation, and there was no power of intention. So a lot of people found that Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiments, they worked. Some people said, doesn't work at all. Power of intention, my friend, power of intention.
We do believe that power of intention is all, but that goes for everything, yes. Whether it's practical, yes. Physical, or emotion, or spiritual.
Yeah.
It goes for everything. What is the difference between that and talking to plants?
Oh, I talk to my plants, I talk to my tree.
No, I quite understand
that.
Yes. So if you look on that as an analogy, the intention would be to get the plants to grow better and more abundance of food if that's necessary. So that's where the intention would be. I do understand that,
I have a tree in my back garden, And when I moved there, everyone said, "Oh, the tree's dead." And a huge, huge big tree. And I would put my hand on it, I would talk to it, I would water it, and you know what? That tree now is just blooming. The blossom that comes off this tree is just magnificent.
I do understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of the comments that will come from this interview will be, well, it's just your perception, the way you see.
Yeah.
What is perception? The power of our thoughts, and what are thoughts? Powerful.
Exactly.
Unspoken words.
Exactly, yes.
So let's have the third step then.
The third step, okay. This is actually something that was developed, invented by a guy called Brian Jenner. He spent a lot of his life in Australia, and he did also live down in Bournemouth. Hence, I got to know all about his system. My second mentor was from Bournemouth. I didn't meet Brian. He actually passed away, I believe, in 2007. And even though I learnt this system many, many years before that, I didn't actually get to meet the guy. But my mentor, Diane, she fully explained, fully trained me in all aspects of this. And it's a little bit mind-boggling. You just look at this system and say, well, can this really work? I can assure you it does. It works like rocket fuel. It's just incredible. What Brian actually found was that the human body reacts to 12 digital number sequences. Also, he was very much into applied kinesiology, which some people will know as where you can test the human body. You can get something that is healthy and very good for you. You can take like a nice organic apple or orange and hold it on your chest, and then you can hold out an arm and somebody can put pressure on that arm, and you got some strength there, because what you have here on your heart chakra is something which is good for you. You can then take a bottle of bleach and you'll just lose your body strength.
Well, you could. The power of kinesis is very, very strong.
Yes.
But that's the energy, and you can do that without holding anything on your chest or anything.
Oh, you can. Yes.
I've taken the energies away from people.
Yeah.
And then beforehand, they're as strong as anything.
Yeah.
And you can just do it with a finger.
Exactly. Yes.
And the viewers will understand, because that's documented on a video of how that works and how we do that.
Yeah.
So they can relate to that. And I'm only saying that so that they can go back and have a reference to what kinesiology is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With this actual part 3, which was developed by Brian Jenner, it's placing a series of cards. There's actually 25 cards, and we do place them on the body. We place them on the chest area. The heart chakra absorbs the information that's on these cards. So again, it's documented, because you'll print out all of these cards, place them on the body. The body starts absorbing the information anyway, because we've already put it in the Akashic Records. This is a healing program that we're doing. You then activate it by reading out the information that's on those cards, and then you use the power of intention and just let it flow, let it flow. I'll just show you a couple of examples of these cards. This one is very visual. This one shows the 6 element chart. And there is just some information at the bottom. It says the energy flow from my central and governing to all elements is now restored to normal function. Obey the harmonic 457 557 888 799. The card that you obviously place on the body, I print them in quarter size, or you can print them in half size, that you place on the body. And if you're doing the program yourself, you'll be laying on a bed, nice and comfortable, and you'll have 2 sets of cards. One which is for reading, and one which is for placing on the body. The card that goes before that is still the 6 element chart, but it shows disruption. And the actual words that you read out on that one is: remove negative lines marked number 4, creating confusion. Activate positive lines marked number 3, supplying air to all the elements. Activate lines 1, creating positive smooth flow to each and every element, thus producing harmony within the physical, spiritual body and mind. So these are just cards. One by one, you go through the process of putting these cards, reading the information, and it works. Here's another card. This one is for the nitrogen network. I'll just quickly run through just a little bit on that one. Elimination of the nitrogen network. Phase conjugate. 5 iterated, 5 squared, plus C, purple F flat minor. 9 iterated, 9 squared, plus C, purple G major. To restore the total light spectrum, the Orkic function of the body involves the correct balance of oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen and carbon. So within the meaning here, we are eliminating inappropriate high levels of nitrogen and xenon to re-establish DNA and RNA function. It might sound glug, 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 but it works. It really does work. Then we also have cards which are for the elements. The blue card, you have an actual diagram of the actual body. So this in small version goes on your body. Also with the card that we read out, this is a good one. I'll just read a couple of parts of this one. Blue is for the kidney and for the bladder. For the cerebrospinal fluid, the element is water, the sound is to groan, the emotion is lack of trust and fear. So we command, we always say I command, remove negative emotions, and we're going to read these negative emotions. Remove negative emotions. Trepidation, misgiving, phobia. Procreative, superstition, paranoid, vigilant, heedless, brash, hesitant, unreliable. Put in positive emotions. Courageous, certainty, fearless, sexual security, groundless, trusting, prudent, attentive, polite, decisive and dependable. So we're pulling out, we're commanding to pull out negative emotions, and if they're seriously negative emotions, you can use another octahedron to put those negative emotions in an octahedron before you send them back out to the universe. But as we pull out negatives, we put in positives to balance. This guy Brian Jenner, as far as I know, I think I'm now the only person in the country that is actually using this system that he developed, apart from a couple of people that I'm now starting to train. And it's just, it's so good for homeopathic treatment. Removing negative emotions, putting in positive emotions. It's all about balance.
I understand that.
This really is a
and the viewers will understand that
system.
But they'll also understand that if I was to change and just think positive, and things helped me, and I attracted the right things because I was thinking positive.
Yeah.
What is the difference between that and this?
Well, if you have the power to do that, good for you. And a lot of people do. A lot of people do. This is for the people that need that little bit of a helping hand, or they're not quite sure exactly how they should go about it. This is a fully documented system, and like I said, if you want to do the whole complete process from start to finish, it'll take about an hour. Some people, I actually have some people who've actually been through the actual program, and then perhaps after about 6 months, they'll just take the 6 element card and they'll just lay down and they'll just hold this on their chest and they'll just say, oh, absorb all this information. Let the energy flow, let it flow, let all my elements and my chakras be balanced. And just by doing that, it gives you that instant pep up.
The explanation that you give, my viewers will understand totally. But let me just throw something into the pitch here.
You always do.
I always do. You know that this program is a program for all faith denominations and beliefs, giving them the tools to find out themselves. I have a wonderful friend who is in a different denomination altogether, and it is a religious denomination, so that's why I call it a denomination. Very much to do with the hierarchy in the church, who is the most positive person that I know, but thinks that I'm a witch, and I am anyway, but thinks that I am a witch, and all people that are involved in spooky things, as she says, I have great respect for, but I just leave them alone because that's not for me, and it goes against my teaching. Yet she attracts health, wealth, and stability, and always has done.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you before was, you have to believe.
Yes.
She doesn't believe.
She doesn't believe in what?
She doesn't believe in the power of positive thoughts,
Okay.
but she does it automatically.
Exactly, she does it automatically.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting round to here at the moment.
Some people can,
so
yes.
a lot of people will be doing this anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have explained the question they will ask themselves, but that's where I get it from. I've always wondered how I can attract certain things and other people can't, and how things seem to run off me where they don't, practical things I'm talking about, and a situation, run off me that are negative and they stick on others.
Yeah.
And so by giving them these understanding, you have given them the way of their explanation, if you like, and their tools. So that fits in so well with the meaning of the program.
Yeah. Everybody can actually do it. Everybody can use the power of intention, exactly as you said. Some of us are not quite there yet. I'll just, if we have enough time, I'll just spend a couple of minutes.
You carry on.
Okay. I'm actually in the process of writing my third book, which is The Meaning and Purpose of Life on Planet Earth. My second mentor has been channeling a lot of information to me, and I actually have an awful lot of answers as to why we're even here, but I'm not going to go into that now. I'll do that next year, when I come back next year. Basically, we come here to have a physical experience and an emotional experience as well. Something which I just recently learned is that on the other side, these are the exact words from my mentor Diane. She said, on the other side, we don't have emotions. We're all like Dr. Spock from Star Trek. Those were her exact words. Very logical. And that made a lot of sense to me, because I've always known that we come here for a physical experience. You know, it's wonderful just to be able to breathe, smell, taste, see with real eyes. It's wonderful, it's amazing. But the fact that we don't have emotions on the other side makes so much sense. I've always known that if you see somebody who has a car accident when they're perhaps a teenager and then has to spend many, many years in a wheelchair, very sad. Yes, show compassion, show love. But very often they actually knew before they even came here that they were going to be in that situation, because they wanted to go through that physical experience. I know it sounds a bit weird, but people...
Not to me, it doesn't sound weird, but it
yeah.
will sound unpractical to a lot of people, especially who are going through a situation.
Yeah. Well, very often that person needed to go through that physical experience. They haven't done it in a previous life, and they just, hey, I wonder what it's really like to be in that position. But also, I've actually discovered that very often the person who has put themselves in that position, they're also sometimes sacrificing themselves for the benefit of perhaps a mother or a father or a sibling who has to push them around and take care of them for years. So it works both ways. But when you understand we don't have emotions on the other side, whether you have a good emotion, a happy emotion, or a bad emotion, a sad emotion, it doesn't matter. An emotion is an emotion.
Yeah, it is. But I think we're getting into a different subject here, whereby we're going down the road of soul experiences.
Yeah. Just to cap it off, lots of people have had many visits here, and they are becoming more experienced having life on this planet. This is like a school, and there are people that come here and they're still at kindergarten or preschool or middle school. Some of us have been here more times and we've had more experiences, and we're now ready to learn. So some of us are in high school, and some of us are even going to university. And it's usually the ones who are at a higher level, they are the ones who find it easier to use the power of intention, because they've started to open up, and they've come here specifically, purposely, for reasons to grow and to learn. So, like I said, some people can just do it just like that. because they've reached that level. A lot of people, they want to reach that level and they're nearly there. This system gives them the little tools, a little toolbox. So you can learn to be an electrician, you can learn to be a plumber, and you can
Very
get
practical.
That, you can
let
get
me
there,
ar-
you can
let
get
me
there.
ar- stop
Yeah.
you there,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know that
We could talk for hours.
we can have this conversation, and we will do later on.
Yeah.
But having said that, so let me ask you something. Do you believe that we came down from spirit to learn or relearn?
Well, it depends where you've been before, because there are other planets that we can actually come for a physical experience.
Let's take away the analogy of going from anywhere else and call it the universal energy.
Okay.
So this universal energy is our essence. So we have come down in a physical body. Have we come down to learn or to relearn?
Well, I would say to relearn, because as you'll discover in my book, which I'll have out next year, the human body, this is not the first time that this wonderful planet that we occupy has had physical bodies. I haven't actually channeled it to find out exactly, but I would imagine we're probably the fourth or fifth or sixth generation of attempts to actually make the world to be as perfect as it can be for the purpose that it's here for. So yes, in my case, I know that this is my 72nd lifetime here, and I've been back through a lot of them. I've been back the equivalent of 30,000 years just to see what I was doing, but I've actually been back almost 100,000 years to gather some information. So yes, we have been bouncing around for a long time, and this planet, as you know, it goes through cycles. So we have been here before to learn, and we screwed up, we didn't get it right. So we're coming back here again to relearn and get it right. And there's a lot of turmoil going on in this planet right now, and it is going to get worse, but then it will get better, because more and more people are waking up. And if we can reach 51%, just more than 50% of the population to just wake up, the power of collective consciousness is incredible. We can just say, no more wars, no more pathetic politics and all the corruption that goes on. Stop. If 51% of the population stand their ground, and with the power of intention, because they've reached that elevation, they've reached that level, say no more, we can literally change the world. And that is going to happen. It is coming. It is coming. It's going to get worse.
This is a discussion for
Yes.
another time. I do believe that we are at a change, and it is coming, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
As for now, Leon,
Yes.
time is rushing out. I've been looking at the clock, and unfortunately it hasn't moved fast, because I don't think there's any battery in the clock.
No, that clock hasn't moved all the time we've been
No,
here.
well, I was going to say, it must be me. The
Yes.
sign, don't
Yeah.
move it. But I thank you so much.
Well,
And
thank you
before
for
you
having-
leave, I would like you to just run briefly through, while you're here, where you're going to be,
Okay.
and how long you're here for.
Okay. Well, I'll go in reverse order. I'll start with how long I'm here for. I'm here for the month of June. I'll be actually leaving on the 30th of June. I live on a little island in the Caribbean, Southwest Caribbean, little place called San Andreas, just south of the Cayman Islands. I've been there for about 6 years now. I lived in the USA, Miami, before that for about 15, 16, 17 years. And then, of course, as you can tell from my accent, I'm English. I spent the first 35, 36 years in England. So I'm going to be here for the month of June. I will be at Robert's meeting this evening, and then on Saturday and Sunday, which is what's the dates? The 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, 4th, 5th.
Saturday the 4th and 5th of June, I'll be at the Halls in Norwich. I'm a guest speaker there talking about this subject, 3 Steps to Healing, Happiness and Abundance. Also my Name Reality program. I'll be having 2 talks there, and I'll be there also on the Sunday. That's in Norwich, the Halls. They have a Mind, Body and Spirit exhibition. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, I'll be at West Lexham, which is in Norfolk. It's near Swaffham. I'll be there again giving talks and showing my information and doing book signings. Then later after that I come back to your event,
You
which
do.
is on the 25th.
At Martlesham, yes it is.
Yes, so perhaps you can give people
And
the
you will be
location
giving
and-
2 talks on
Yes.
both subject, in the morning and in the afternoon, and book signing as well.
Yes.
So, busy man.
Yes, I got quite a few things going on, but hey, I love my work. And if anybody wants to contact me, obviously Robert knows me very well. We've
I've never seen it before in my life.
I was on your show a year.
Oh, no.
And let me congratulate you for keeping this show running. I mean, this really is quite amazing. I mean, this guy really goes out and he makes this happen. A lot of people, they might start something, but then they just let it drop. Robert has kept this going for over a year now. Thank you.
I need to get outside the door,
Yeah.
and it can't get any wider. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, and I look forward to our discussion and talk tonight.
Yes, I do too.
And you will find it with wonderful energies. It's packed every time that's there. It's on it every month.
Right.
But because it's something close to my heart, to do with local good causes and charities, people come along because of the information they get to make up their own minds, which goes in the conjunction of this programme as well.
Yeah.
So for now, Leon, I say thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, one last thing. My website is namesdoctor.com. Names doctor, doctor.com. It tells you all about Name Reality, and there is a page there titled Healing, which tells you all about the 3 Steps program. And if you look at my website and look at my work, you'll see I've got reviews after reviews after reviews. So my stuff works. Well, I say my stuff. It's not my stuff. I've just put existing stuff together to share with you, the people. Thank you.
And I'm sure you're going to get plenty of comments, Leon. And all this information will go in the credits at the end anyway.
Okay.
That will be in black and white and practical, so they can see. And you've also mentioned to the video anyway. So I thank you once again, Leon,
Yes.
and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Goodbye.